All right, folks, well, almost ready to get started, and there's just so many different processes that go into bringing us to this moment when everything's ready to go. For one, making fire. Whenever I do this with arrows and bows and everything, I always make the fire by friction. I'm gonna have to do another video on that, and also cordage. I use cordage on the arrows. That's like a little micro cord. I don't know if you can see that. Cordage right here was from a bowstring I made out of agave fiber, and it was pretty good cordage, but it just couldn't take the strain. We have some firewood, ember starting kit, the 4 arrows that are not going to have stone points for fletching, and the 2 arrows that have to have stone points reset on them. This is the glue that's made from pine pitch, a little bit of ground up charcoal, and a little bit of ground up rabbit poop. When I discovered putting rabbit poop in the glue, I found that it made it so much harder. See right there, that's been shot several times, but it's still almost intact. We also have the fletchings themselves. Some of these have not been trimmed yet. This is fiber, natural fiber. This fiber is from New Zealand flax, which is a plant that's common around here. Actually, there's one growing right over there. Okay, so now I'm gonna heat up this glue. Careful not to heat it up too much. Another thing I'm doing while I'm here is straightening out these arrow shafts. A couple of them I really couldn't get all the way straight, as you see. And so you heat them up, and heating them up also makes the wood stronger, or makes it harder and stronger as long as it's not too brittle. And don't heat it too fast because you don't want to scorch the wood, but you get it nice and hot, and then you just bend it. And then take a look at it. So this one's already pretty straight, but I'm heating it up in the flame anyways to harden it, especially the tip, because these are wooden tips. So getting ends, they get a little bit charred. That's why I left them blunt like that, so that I could come back, take off that charred material and make it sharper. 2 goose feathers and 1 hawk feather, and I chose to leave the knock uncarved until after I mount the fletchings this time. So we'll see how that works out. So I get some glue with this little glue stick, and I just put a little dab right there and press it down. Smear the glue around a little bit. And just carefully dab a little bit underneath the front, and that was a mess. And press that down. Wipe off some of the excess. Press it down as flat as I can. God, the fire is just blowing right in my face. Oh, God, the fire in my face. And these 3 feathers are almost on, as far as just the initial gluing goes. back end on and the front end popped up. Okay. Now I have to put the agave fiber bindings on there on each end, and then some more glue. The fiber binding on there, and for that I just get it started with a little dab of glue. Start it right on top of there. And then just kind of wind it up. And finish it with, I think it's a kind of a hitch knot. Okay, I think I almost got that right there. Pull out the slack. Oh, it's a little bit messy, but I'm gonna glue that all up. Break off those little ends, and then okay, then to finish that end, just gonna try to heat up that glue a little bit. Take a large screwdriver, get it really hot, and then use it to just kind of melt all that glue down a little bit and get it all smoothed out and covering that fiber. So taking off any excess. And that arrow fletching is pretty much done. Okay, well here's two completed arrows. One with the obsidian point and one with just a wood point. Oh, I still have to put a knock in this arrow, so it's not quite finished. And I still have the other 3 arrows to be fletched. Sawing a slot to make the arrows knock, sawing and whittling. Okay, so after a couple more hours last night and a little while this morning to carve the nocks into the new arrows, this batch is pretty much done. And I realized that a couple times earlier in this video, I said the word fletchings, which is totally incorrect. It should be called fletching, of course. This is the fletching of the arrow, not the fletchings, so I feel like an idiot. But anyways, these arrows came out really well for me, and we have the ones that are headless, I guess you could call them, and they're really straight, and the fletching came out great for me. There's still this little gap in between the feather and the arrow shaft, but I haven't figured out how to get that all the way out yet, but it's not too bad on this set. And we have the stone tipped arrows. This is the obsidian tip, and this is the flint tip. And if I was to hunt, I don't really hunt, but if I had to hunt or if I chose to hunt, and I had one arrow of mine that I was going to shoot, it would be this one. That flint tip is just so hard and still sharp after shooting it many times. And this arrow, very solid, straight, good fletching, and it's a little bit bigger than most arrows. So, you know, with a powerful bow, it could definitely pack a punch. So yeah, that would be my arrow of choice. So yeah, in this video covered most aspects of making the arrow, except for hafting the arrowhead, making fire, making cordage. So I'll make some other videos for those subjects, and hope you liked the video. Give me a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.